What's up, guys? This is the Shakedown 2.0. Just gonna do some nice basic trails, shake down all the modifications we've done to the Dodge so far, and we'll check back in. I think that's about it for the introduction. Let's go find some nice easy trails to shake out all the modifications done to the Dodge. Okay, so the last time y'all saw the Dodge Rock Crawler, I was still playing around with my stock axles, that being a Dana 44 front and a Dana 60 rear, the stock Dodge 2nd gen axles. However, after bumping up my first obstacle on the first outing of this Dodge Rock Crawler at Morris Mountain, I managed to break the entire front end. Let's take a look. So, like any good brother, I went ahead and gave those axles to my brother for a very good price. I'm gonna let him rebuild them, and I swapped to Super Duty axles. The swap included the entire axle assemblies from a 2003 F350, both front and rear. I know I didn't get the 05 up, but the 2003 was at a really good price and it was like 20 minutes away from me, so those are the axles I went with. The first thing I did was swap the front axle out of the Dodge. Went ahead and ripped that axle out. After taking out that axle, I went ahead and welded in the new axle. I went for a leaf spring setup in the front, and I went to a 4-link in the rear. If you want, last week I released the 4-link video. Go ahead and check that out. It goes over all the details on that. After having the back end of the truck, I went ahead and installed my Barnes 4-wheel drive coilover towers, as well as my Fox 2.0 used coilovers. That's the setup for the rear. The last thing I did was build a custom front drive shaft out of some quarter wall square tubing and installed that on the truck. So I think that catches y'all up on the work we've done since breaking it the first time. Now let's talk through where we're at and where we're gonna go test this out for a shakedown run. What you just heard was the transfer case not fully being engaged. That is why I made all that clinking. Here I am actually fully engaging it. That was my bad. This is the closest thing we have to sand dunes here in Georgia. A nice 20-foot tall piece of hill with a lot of really loose sand on it. It's the best we got. We're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Well, going slow wasn't the move. Let's just try with a little more skinny pedal and try not to break anything. Whatever, we're gonna call that defeat. Not too worried about it. As you can see, I'm kind of babying everything right now, trying to make everything last, make sure everything is in place, nothing's loose, nothing's going crazy. That's why it's little baby steps for this Shakedown 2.0. As you can see here in a second, doing a turnaround to the left is quite difficult. After doing that 1-ton swap, I installed the steering perfectly center with the pitman arm and all of the steering arms themselves. The tie rods are also perfectly centered for the time being. But with that being said, the steering pulls far harder to the right than it does to the left. This is going to be an alignment issue that I'm going to fix in the future. But for now, we're going to go ahead and knock out this 5-point turn and get going to go find some more small trails. Remember kids, even if it's a Subaru, it's always smart to have a nice vehicle to pick you up in case your jalopy piece of junk Dodge 1500 breaks down. It was at this point that I realized I really can't see what I'm looking at over the tops of little hills and ruts, so that camera footage was about twice as good as what I had for a field of view. Might need to fix that in the future. We're gonna let Manny drive real fast. Here's our first obstacle, maybe the only real obstacle. It's about a 30-degree dirt slope with a high top, a bunch of little bumps and ruts so we can watch the 4-link articulate. So I'm gonna go ahead and egg him on, and then we can go watch this happen. A little slow, a little slow. Don't get sad here, but the GoPro's about to cut off. We're gonna switch footage, get a better angle. We reran this obstacle. Easy money. Oh, poor guy. That was probably us. I'm sorry. Here's the front drive shaft in action. Looking nice and pretty. Super deep water crossing. We got about 3 inches of water right there. long trip. We got a little bit of testing done. Other than that, we got to go ahead and take it in. And yeah, so that's a good quick action. I'm glad that everything held up to a little bit of abuse. I think in a few weekends we'll go back to Morris Mountain and see if we can claim some of those spots we weren't able to take down last time we went there.